So what's going on? Or do we have a shadow force? That's what I've been told. So I saw this the other day, and I'm like, I need to dig a little deeper. Apparently there's a shadow force moving the homeless, taking them somewhere. What was that movie? Was where they would feed people stuff? Valiant? Was it Green? Soylent Green?
Oh, they turned people into food. Yeah. It was Soylent Green.
It's people! Could it be?
It's Friday, May 9th, and you're about to see how a whistleblower says homeless are being secretly cleared out of downtown Nashville, arrested and jailed, but not by Metro Police.
I find it deeply troubling, and I think it's quite insidious.
WSMV4 Investigates watched as Michael Lambert, a homeless man sitting on Lower Broadway, suddenly stood up when this man in a yellow shirt identifying him as a downtown ambassador came to talk to him.
By the way, I'm going to throw this out there. When he said sitting down, Michael wasn't really sitting as much as he was trying not to pass out. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
What did he say to you?
They told me I couldn't sit. You got to stand up.
You can see Lambert quickly did it because he knows what happens if he doesn't. In this 2023 affidavit, Lambert was doing the same thing, found to be obstructing a temporary access passageway, found sitting on the sidewalk with an open container of alcohol. He was placed under arrest, but not by Metro Police.
Yeah, this is where it gets interesting. So it's not the cops. They've got like tourist cops. That's what I'm calling them. Right? Tourist cops. You see this. Like San Francisco, when G came or whatever, magically all the homeless people disappeared, right?
Yeah.
Well, if they don't work for Metro Nashville, who do they work for?
They're tourist cops, all right?
What's that mean, though?
They're here to make sure the tourists have a good time.
So who do they answer to?
God.
Okay.
Instead, by a state trooper using unmarked cars like this one. Part of what this whistleblower describes as a secretive unit often summoned by downtown ambassadors.
Or Satan. Now, by the way, whoever did this guy's voice, the worst you've... So bad.
Our job is to police the homeless community.
This whistleblower should know he's one of the state troopers working the unit.
Profiling is what it is.
The troopers, they want to with you.
Did you ever think it was strange that state troopers were down here?
Always. I mean, they should be out on the interstate.
But they're not state troopers. You're wrong. Tourist police. They want people to have a good time. They don't. And I will say, when I came out 2 years ago, when I went up and down Broadway, man, there were so many people that we were like, oh, you know, doing the sway, right? The fentanyl sway.
Oh, yeah.
Where they're like, you know, like one eye's open. They got like, and they're just kind of swaying back and forth. There was a lot of that going on. A lot. And they weren't, he was just sitting here quietly drinking a beverage that he purchased. No. No, Michael wasn't. Michael was crap-faced, for lack of a better term, right? And all the guy get up and say, come on, dude, you got to move along, right? You can't, this is not where you live. This is not a lifestyle choice. You're a hot mess.
Of all the divisions the THP displays on its website, there is no mention of patrolling downtown Nashville. Here's where the trooper says the lines get blurred. He says while they are in uniform working for the unit, they aren't working for the state. They're being paid for part-time work with private dollars by the downtown partnership through a contract with the security company Solarin.
A.K.A. tourist cops.
Yeah.
Tourist cops. They just have yellow shirts on, and they got the little camera, and they drive around and mark, you know, just saying, hey, guys, move along, right?
Man,
They have their badges out?
No, didn't see any badges.
no, we don't need no badges.
Well, thank you, badges.
Which is at the center of our thin blurred line investigation. Paid not to be security, but to be police. But wait a minute. You may be asking, why would private businesses even need a police force if Metro Police has their own precinct on Lower Broadway?
Because we know that Freddie probably thinks it's a lifestyle choice. So it's okay. Okay? It's a lifestyle choice, guys. So we got to do better. And THP's like, no. And so they go and get tourist cops.
This trooper says the businesses who are part of the downtown partnership are frustrated, saying Metro Police isn't focused on the homeless.
These companies were fed up with that, and so they were paying Solarin to pay us to police downtown Nashville.
This trooper says almost immediately he started regretting working part-time for the unit.
Until he got his paycheck. Who messed with his voice? Like, who's the noob that's there that did this?
Sounds like somebody's terrified of being caught and asked them to make it super difficult to understand him.
Yeah. If you're a business owner, you don't want, because once you allow it to spread, once you allow it to happen, and I know what Freddie and everybody's going to say, it's people are priced out of the market. No, these people aren't priced out of the market. They're not. They're priced out of the market now because they can't hold a job. They can't do anything. They're a hot freaking mess. I was reading, it was today, they're getting rid of the last homeless camp, right? And they've got these like little yurts, those little like tent like things, modules. And they're like, it's really tough to get them to stay. I'm like, well, they don't stay when they have a place to stay. And if there's any rules, they don't stay.
Yeah, they don't like rules.
No, because they're not all there, or because it goes against their partying, their drink. Yes, are there people out there that have fallen in some hard times? But most people who fall in hard times, they can couch surf. They're going to an actual shelter where their goal is to get out of there. They're not sleeping or passed out on the street. They're not doing things in the park for money. They're not. You don't miss a paycheck and like, fentanyl.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen that way. But this is what they make it think.
Photos like these, taken by the troopers, were being passed around to show how homeless could be removed from Lower Broadway simply for sitting or holding signs.
If they make it seem like they're just sitting there, they weren't doing anything. They've been sitting there for 6 months. Right? Showing up in the morning and having somebody sleeping in the middle of your walkway there. Or maybe if crapped or pissed or starting fights. I was telling you guys last week, there's a fight in the park. Because now that it's really getting nice out there, they're starting to spread out, right? Like they're going to their spaces.
Coming out, yeah.
Getting further away from the shelters and whatnot. And you can feel bad, but you also run a business. And the business doesn't need this. And it's insane. It is to think, well, he was just sitting there, just mind his own business, holding a sign. And you're like, we have people across. My wife has like this little bag she packs for all the people that are homeless. And if Charlie sees one out the window, my wife will take one down to them and stuff. And she's getting to know some of these people. But look, they're a hot mess. And sometimes I've seen some, they go to shelters. They've asked us to take them to shelters a couple times, especially when it got really cold. But they're a hot mess. They are. And no matter how much you try, it is a, now, should TH be doing it for the tourism? Well, yeah, because what are we? Let's be real. Besides the fact that it's a great place that people want to come and live now, this is the place where people want to come and hang out. They want to have their parties. This is like a new opportunity to grow hey, everybody's coming here for the big insurance thing or their big whatever, right? Remember the NFL draft? We got the, whatever sporting event. You don't want that. You don't. And you could feel bad. And everybody's like, because let's be real. What is government looking to do at the local level? Where can we stick these people that they won't be an eyesore or a mess to the population? That sounds like it's a horrible thing. That's it. It's what it is. And so why wouldn't you want to have somebody come through and move them out? Because, Freddie's like, oh, don't touch them. Again, it's lifestyle choice. It's not a lifestyle choice. And it's not because they missed a paycheck. And it's not because a place costs $485,000 in Franklin or something. It's not that. It's because they've got mental illness and drug addiction. That is a vast majority of them. And if you give them a place today, they'll trash it and disappear.
I used to see, on my way home in the afternoons, I used to see WeGo buses, between here and Murfreesboro. And then my wife started telling me that, when she worked downtown Murfreesboro at the time, these WeGo buses would show up on the square and just homeless person after homeless person would get off.
Yes. And they just drive around for hours on them. And it's just, and what do you think this new big, choo-choo
Well, I think
train?
they were dumping them.
Yes.
They're dumping them in Murfreesboro.
Yeah, how about that, Murfreesboro? But somebody said, what about the pods? The pods is what they're trying to do today, is to they've got like 100 to 150 pods they're going to try to put people into. They're like 100 square feet.
They'll trash them.
But they'll trash them if they stay at all.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing. They say, well, a lot of times they don't stay. So what then? You spend all this money, and we're going to have an initiative to lower the cost of housing. You can give it away, and it won't matter because you're not dealing with the root cause of the issue, drugs and mental illness. The guy across the street that I see every day, nice guy. I tell you this right now. It's not because dude missed a paycheck. And he'll tell you straight up. He drinks and he does lots of drugs. And there are times that you see him and he's totally fine, says, hey, Chad. There's other times he didn't know who the hell you are. So let's all settle down with this. And until we address, and this goes anywhere in the country, until you address the root cause of this, it doesn't matter. It's mental illness and drugs, period. They're addicts. Maybe they were addicts first and the mental illness creeped in. Maybe mental illness was a huge part of it and they used drugs to try to fix the situation. Either way, that's what you're dealing with.